All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And salutations to the Akim out there laboring of the hopeful elect that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And here we have another example of a bought and paid for minion for Esau. And these guys here, these individuals like him, are pretty much the gatekeepers that keep Jake asleep. You see pretty much now the sweatshirt that he has on. Um, he's an alumni from the fraternity of Alpha Phi Alpha. Now, when you go into the history of these fraternities were set up. Pretty much, these are the predominantly Jake fraternity, but these are the uh, the proxies that Esau uses against our people, as far as keeping them sleep, keeping pretty much keeping them in line. These are the overseers of the so-called plantation, so to speak. Now, when you dive into this man's rhetoric and individuals like him, because there's plenty of them. All right, anybody that has a microphone in their face on the camera and continually to speak about oppression and racism and pretty much grifters that pretty much pretty much wear that Jake pretty much wears their heart on their sleeve, so they play into Jake's emotions. Everything is pretty much race baiting, so to speak. You know, and we know that there's racism in America, but that should not be your rally cry to begin with. We understand in this truth that we're in a situation because we sinned against the Lord. But these individuals here are pretty much uh, are set in place to keep Jake in that herd mentality. Jake is pretty much not able to be free thinkers dealing with an individual like this. You see, and when you see the list of prominent people, uh, when you want to talk about American history that are associated with this fraternity, pretty much, you pretty much get the drift of what he uses, okay, to keep these guys to be the gatekeepers. Okay, all right. Now let's get into this fraternity. Okay, this is our prominent alpha men, so to speak. So this is Phi Alpha fraternity. Okay, and they into that whole Greek, madness. Just like how he was back in ancient times. You see, all right. So now this is their main mainstay. As unprivileged peoples around the world continue to struggle for their God given rights of freedom, justice, equality, and human dignity, the fraternity continues to stand at a forefront of efforts to win those rights. Alpha Phi Alpha today continues in that spirit of leadership the fraternity has demonstrated since 1906. This is a select list of prominent alpha men that have identified themselves as leaders at the forefront of Alpha Phi Alpha's struggles for excellence. And pretty much they've just been infiltrated since day one at the end of the day. But let's get into the famous activists. All right, number one on your list, okay, Dr. Martin Luther King, civil rights activist. Now, you seen what he did with the civil rights movement, and that's the worst thing that happened for us people as a nation. And I say that is because Jake is still trusting in man. Jake is still trying to trust in this system that don't give a damn about them from the beginning. Jake is always trying to want inclusion within the system, okay? And while the system is pretty much trying to strain you away further and further from your power, you see? And these guys are pretty much hardcore so-called what do you want to call Democrats. Now, when you're a Democrat, pretty much you are, what they consider the far left, and what you have is you have radical views on lifestyles, so to speak. This is why there's confusion within the households. You got pretty much, you got women, girls being raised up that want to be men, and then vice versa. This whole woke agenda is really surrounded around this whole thing, and this is what they want you to support. You know, this individual, Roland Martin, he was recently on the Breakfast Club recently, and he's on there really pretty much making his pitch to pretty much have Jake go out there and vote, you know, for pretty much who's in office right now. And our stance is, you know, this place is done. Jake is still trusting in a voting system, and is still trusting in an alliance that's ultimately dead set against him, and they don't even see it. When you want to talk about, and even when you want to talk about this whole division amongst the nation, this nation, Republican and Democrat, you know, uh, Jake Jake's spirit supposed to be gravitating more towards a conservative view. Okay, now you will not hear anything spiritual or anything talking about God, within the Democratic Party. Those people are pretty much anti-Christ, man, and they're showing you that right in front of your face. You see, because right now everything goes, and this is the agenda that the heads of these people pretty much represent, man. Okay, and everything goes. A society, you see, lawlessness, perverseness. Okay, this is what they're pretty much has been the recipe for the demise of Jake. Okay, and continually to pull them away from that power. You see, here it is now. You had the people that they have that bought and paid for them. Okay, are in office, but Jake is still complaining. So why is it now 4 years later you're still complaining about the same things? You see, they always use the pretty much the spirit of oppression. Okay, downtrodden and oppression. You see, to play on the hearts of the people, man. You know. So let's go with the scripture real quick. This is Micah chapter 3, verse 9. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and the princes of the house of Israel. And that's pretty much what these guys are. And then pretty much, when you go down the line, of these prominent people, you got W.E. Du Bois, you got Adam Clayton Powell, you got Thurgood Marshall. These people had pretty much had prominent positions within society. You even have Dick Gregory. Okay, he was one. Okay, and when you go to these heads, further going into the heads, when you want to speak about politics, okay, when you look at politics and government of people that's part of this fraternity, you got Dennis Archer, which is a mayor of Detroit, Richard Arlington, which was a mayor of Birmingham, Alabama, Willie Brown, which was the mayor of San Francisco, David Dinkins was a former mayor of New York. So you see how it's going, how you have these people in place, and these are nothing but the gatekeepers of the plantation, man. So this is what the Lord is considering the heads of the house of Jacob, man, which makes up of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, but chiefly they play on the hearts of you Negroes, man. You see, okay. So it says that you heads thereof, right? That abhor judgment and pervert all equity. And when you're really doing that, though, you're really pretty much shying Jake away from their power at the end of the day. This is all an agenda between good and evil at the end of the day. This is a spiritual warfare, okay? And all of these heads thereof have been in the pockets of the Antichrist, so to speak. This is why Martin Luther King, MLK, this is why he got deleted. Because he realized what was going on, and he realized that he said a quote I feel like I'm leaving my people into a burning building. You see, but that tradition has been continuing in. You see, okay, all right. It is all the Lord at the end of the day. Okay, Jake is always thinking in a herd mentality. Okay, they all think the same type of way. Okay, the enemy pretty much has that figured out, and they have to have these heads, pretty much lead Jake in that direction, man. Okay, you see. But at the end of the day, it's gonna backfire because all this leading to is to the demise of this man's kingdom. You see. So it says they built up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. And this is what you're seeing because Jake has been pretty much having a world view of things the same way for the past 60, 70 years, and nothing has changed. It's gotten worse for Jake. Okay, you see, and now look at where Jake stay at. Look how it's built up with blood. Okay, what change is really coming from you Jake's having this type of mindset and having the leaders of these people, man. You trusting in man, and this is where it's leading you. Okay, instead of you leading on the Lord. Okay, you see, it says the heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire. And we're going into these pastors, man. The same way, man. A lot of these pastors are from fraternities, man. And this is just one fraternity in particular. But what I've noticed about this, Roland Martin, his show, okay, and pretty much, man, he reminds me of Porky Pig, man. The bleep bleep bleep. He looks like a spinning image of Porky Pig, man. But what I noticed with him is that he's always wearing some type of fraternity, apparel, okay, on his podcast. You see, okay. These are the gatekeepers, man. Okay, because why? It's because they judge for a reward, man. Okay, you see, all right. And the priests, the pastors, okay, which a lot of these guys are part of the boule. Okay, when you want to go dig deeper into it, okay, you see, Masons, the boule, okay, what they teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon Yahweh and say, is not Yahweh by Shem Shai among us? None evil can come upon us. And this is what their sentiment is, man. They think the Lord is dealing with them, because why? It's because you put on a three-piece suit and you put your hard bottoms on and you go into church every Sunday, okay? And you look, you're looking cleaner than a whistle, and people perceive that the Lord is dealing with these people, man. You see? And people have that sentiment that evil is not coming upon them, man. You see, Jake is blind. Jake can't see. Jake is not observing the times that we're in. You see, everything is still all what do you want to call hunky dory, man. Okay, it says, right. Salakia. It says, therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. You see? And pretty much, man, the Lord's going to render judgment upon these 2/3, man. Okay? Because the masses of the people pretty much are still asleep, man. Thanks to individuals like this here. Okay? That pretty much have a soapbox, and pretty much are having Jake to think a certain type of mind frame, and really is really separating them more and more from their power, man. See, that's what's going on here, man. Because you're seeing now it's between good and evil, And even when you want to talk about the Republican Party, at least they talk about the deity. At least they talk about JC, or they talk about something type of spiritual. Why? It's because really it's going back to conservative values. Okay, all right, and that's what Jake really is about, man. At the end of the day, though, but Drake has let the wicked seduce them, man. You see, all right. Jake has always been a conservative spirit, man. and they don't even know it. You see, this is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 18. Hear ye deaf, and look, ye blind, that you may see. Who is blind but my servant, and or deaf as my messenger that I have sent? Okay, so the people that are being led, okay, and then the heads of them, they both fall into the blind lead the blind. They both fall into a ditch. You know, the leaders of these people cause them to err. You see, okay, but it says, "Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as Yahweh's servant, seeing many things, but thou observest not." You see, Jake sees these things going on, though, but they're not putting two and two together. You see, okay, the gas is not uniting, so to speak. Okay, seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears, but he heareth not. You see, right? Because that's going on with Jake here. Okay, Jake is pretty much his ears are pretty much uncircumcised, and when you have people pretty much coming up to against this truth, whether it be on the highways and hedges, or whether it be on a comment board, or whether they have they're already their preconceived notion when asked the question, about this truth, okay, they can't see it. They have a problem with it. You see, and that goes back to this is a beta spirit that we're speaking about, man. This is not an alpha spirit that these people are really having Jake in. Okay, Jake is still crying about oppression. Okay, when we just are seeing the demise of this damn man, and not the hell with that. The Lord's going to be pretty much, vengeance is going to be of the Lord's. The Lord's going to handle that. We're just pulling up the receipts in his face, though. But we're not crying about it. Because why? It's because we know that this man's demise. Okay? All right? We have the so-called the almanac to find out what's going to happen at the end, so to speak. Okay? You see? We see where this man is headed at the end of the day, man. This adversary. We see where he's headed. Okay? You see? We're just pulling up the receipts. But what Jake likes to do is Jake likes to cry and complain and still want to join hands with this damn devil, man. Okay? Still trying to get something out of it. They still want this whole DEI movement, diversity and inclusion and equity. Okay? Still trying to join to this whole man's setup that we're seeing that is being deteriorated before our eyes. How are you still trying to attach yourself to something that has an expiration date? Okay, Jake is still trying to, for dear life, pretty much, get in a life raft and swim back to the Titanic, so to speak, man. Okay, when the Titanic is clearly sinking. Okay, individuals like this are still rocking Jake back to sleep. You see, and thinking that this damn devil still owes you something. Okay, and nothing that this man has to offer you, he can give you. Okay, first of all, foremost, it's all from the Lord at the end of the day, but the Lord's going to repay this man back in blood. You see, so it's no amount of money that you can think that or some type of leeway that you're going to get. Jake is still in that mindset of that civil rights mentality, man. Still, and he had some type of podcast he had pretty much speaking about Hollywood and how black folks are pretty much not getting a fair share in Hollywood. The hell with Hollywood, man. Hollywood and the whole music industry, man. Okay, is the receipts are pretty much coming out on how these people deal, man, and how vile and perverse they are, man. Okay, the hell with somebody not getting an acting role or getting their money's worth for it, man. They're all perverse, man. At the end of the day, man. But Jake wants to use that as pretty much as some type of talking point, man. You see, which doesn't make sense. You see, all right. From there, let's go to Jeremiah real quick. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. And these guys are pretty much that are heads that are pretty much bought and paid for. Okay, you know, they are pretty much their job is to have you go astray, keep Jake sleep, not have Jake be as a free thinker. You see, you know when you pretty much come into this truth, you know, prior to you really coming to this truth, you really come into the realization of being more of a free thinker, and thinking things through logically. You see, that's one of the the traits that the Lord pretty much opens up to man at the end of the day. You know, a lot of times when you want to reflect on brothers that have been in this truth for many years, you want to reflect on the time when right before you came into the truth, you know, think back and consider, you know, how the Lord pretty much unlocked certain thought processing for man. Okay, and usually it would be a gradual thing to where now when you hear this truth, boom, you know, your spiritual clock is pretty much awakened, and everything all makes sense. You see, okay, but prior to that though is usually a process, man. But these guys are not pretty much are keeping Jake asleep, and Jake is not even allowed to have that free thinking spirit, man. Okay, they're keeping Jake in a herd mentality spirit, man. That herd mentality thinking, man, where everybody thinks as one, and nobody's a free thinker, man. And anybody that goes against that, to them it's weird, it's evil, so to speak. You see, you know, this is why they look at us the way they do. Okay, you know, Jake is emotional. You see, okay, and Jake needs to stay out of white folks' business, man. Okay, that's the best advice that you can really have, that you can understand at this point, because these scriptures you're not going to be able to understand unless the Lord is dealing with you. But you got to stay out of white folks' business, man. That you don't have a dog in the fight on what this man is doing, man. Okay, this man is leading his own self to his own demise, and Jake, you still trying to gravitate to this damn man. Okay, but it says, "My people have been lost sheep; their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from the mountain to hill, and they have forgotten their resting place." You know, and you can go from these different agencies and governments, and you're not going to get your fair shake, man. Okay, this is not your rest, like the Lord said, man. You're supposed to arise and depart, and really come back to your power, man. Jake doesn't even understand that they're in a spiritual warfare, man. Okay, you see, it all boils down to good and evil. Okay, that's what it boils down to. You see, right? It says, reading on, it says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries say, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh. And that's what they do, though, because they have no pity upon you. Your adversary that sits these minions out, has no pity upon you. Because why? It's because they have the receipts on who you are. Okay? So the same, you offend, they don't offend. They're not, because they know that you have a curses upon you. They understand that. The top elites that pretty much have this trickle down effect on the minions, the gatekeepers, so to speak. The top elites know. The top elites know that they feel like they're not offending you of how bad they would treat you, or how they're putting stumbling blocks in front of Jake. They don't feel no kind of way about that. Okay? They were wired to do that. See? Okay? But all that found you Jakes out there, okay? You being devoured, man. Okay? In every which way you're being devoured, man. Okay? Because why? It's because the Lord said that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You see? And you're not going to be no priest to the Lord, man. Okay? This is pretty much a judgment of you wicked 2/3, man. Okay? You're gonna stay stuck in the mud, man, to the missiles come, man. That's just reality. You see? Right? So it says, we offend not because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. And that was the hope of our fathers is our power, man. Okay? You see? All right? And you people continue to shy away from the Lord. Okay? And especially if you're going down to the polling booth to vote, okay? And you're voting a certain type of way that you've always been doing for the past 60, 70 years, their agenda is anti-Christ, man. At the end of the day, man. You see? You can't get around that. You see? All right? From there, let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 34, verse 2. Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel, prophesy and say unto them, thus say the Lord power unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves and should not and that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock? And the flock is not being fed with anything. Not with truth. Okay? You see, these shepherds are feeding themselves. They're filling their own belly, man. You see? You know? Okay? And he's pretty much is that talking head for Jake and just pretty much keeping Jake asleep, man. Individuals like this guy here, and there's a plethora of them, you know. It says, "You eat the fat, and ye clothe you with wool." So you're eating the best of the best, you know. Okay, and you're dressing of the best. You see, when you really talk about these pretty much, especially these politicians, man. Okay, that's ahead of Jake. You know how do you go from a now you go from a six-figure salary, okay? All of a sudden now these people are multi-millionaires, man. Okay, we're talking about these Congress people. We're talking about these mayors. Okay, we're talking about these district attorneys in these various cities. That's pretty much all Jake. Okay, most of the major cities around Babylon are Jake mayors, man. Okay, you see. And they're pretty much they're worth millions when you go look at their net worth, man. You see? Okay? It says, ye kill them that are fed, and you pretty much you eat the best of the food, man. You're getting the best of you feasting off that fatted calf, man. Okay? You eating the best of the foods, man. But you feed not the flock. You see? Okay? The diseased have you not strengthened, neither have you healed that which was sick. And Jake is pretty much like a diseased and sick person, man. Okay, mentally traumatized, man, so to speak, man. Okay, nobody's saying to restore Jake. Nobody's trying to restore you. Nobody's trying to give Jake a sound mind. You see, everything is really just the stumbling block to keep them stuck in the mud, man. Okay, Jake is pretty much complaining about the wrong things, man. Okay, and they're not as observing the times. You see, okay, you're still trying to latch, and his job is to latch, keep Jake trying to depend on this government. Okay, to latch onto them for validation, for finance, to give them a fair shot, to give them a pass. Then Jake's still looking for reparations, man. Okay, which is going to come to naught. All of these things, man. Okay, this is a failing society that Jake don't see that's failing, and Jake's still trying to prop it up. They're still trying to latch onto it. Okay, when you were built to be better than that. You see, okay. But these people, these heads, have not strengthened the people, man. Okay? The diseased and the sick, man. Mentally. Neither have you bound up which was broken. And Jake is a bunch of broken bones, man. Okay? You know? Walking around like a bag of bones, man. That's what Jake is walking around, man. Broken, destroyed. Okay? Look at Jake. Look at Jake. Look how Jake act, man. Okay. So this is what, when you want to talk about engineered black culture, it's right there in front of your face. All you gotta do is go on social media. This is what 60 and 70 years of voting a certain type of way and having that herd mentality. That's what it got you. Okay, what you see out in the streets. You see, it says you haven't been bound up. You haven't been soothed. You haven't been rehabilitated, so to speak, man. Okay, you haven't been soothed with mental ointment. Okay, the mental ointment is this truth, this word, man. You see? Okay? Neither have you bought again that which was driven away. Neither have you sought that which was lost. But with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. And this is how these people are dealing with you, man. Okay? The people that you pretty much are voting for and putting in office, okay, these Congress people and these senators, they don't give a damn about you at the end of the day, man. You see? Okay? Because once they go down to Washington, they got to go by a playbook, so to speak, man. Okay? So whatever good intention that you thought they may have is quickly thrown out the window. Okay? They're only serving agendas. And the agenda is not for you, Jack. You see? The Lord said it's not your rest. And Jake, you're going to find out, you 2/3, you're going to find out that this is truly not going to be your rest, so to speak. Okay? All right? Only the remnant is going to realize that this is not their rest, man. And you have to latch on and tap in to our true living power, man. You see? Okay? All right, it says, right? And they were scattered because there was no shepherd. And they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered, man. So we was pretty much busted down, when we the great diaspora, when we was dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. So everywhere you see where Jake is, man, Jake is pretty much busted down, man. Okay, pretty much a proverb amongst the people, man. You see, it says, verse 6, my sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search nor seek after them. Okay? And nobody's checking for you, Jakes, out there. Okay? Because as long as you, Jakes, are in this this stupor that you're in, all things remain the same. The adversary continues to rule. Point blank, period. There's no way around that. There's no way around that. He continues to rule. You see? All right? All right, I'm about to finish it up. Last precept. This is Isaiah 59. Let's grab a little meat out of here. This whole chapter bad. Verse 7. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are the thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths, man. And this is what the 60, 70 years of that herd mentality thinking has gotten Jake, man. Okay? This right here, in a nutshell, is pretty much the engineered black culture that's out there, man. Okay? You see? All right? Jake has pretty much have made the environment not safe. Okay? This is the product of that, man. Okay? All right? Everybody's in their feelings with everything, man. Okay? You see? And mere words can lead to death. Okay? All right? This is black culture as you see it, man. Okay? Life is very cheap. Life is coming real cheap in the hood right now, man. Okay? Jake is getting deleted off of stupidity, man. Okay? See? It says, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. You see? And what pretty much what advancement is this man giving Jake at the end of the day, man. Okay, that pretty much that stuck in the mud mentality, man. That's nothing but death. You see, okay. He keeps Jake, and his job is to keep Jake and guys like him to keep Jake in that stupor, man. Okay, right? It says, right? Therefore is judgment far from us. Neither do justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness. And that's what his job is to do, is to keep you walking in the dark, man. Okay? You know? Just like how we were walking in the wilderness for 40 years, you know? Okay? These guys, their job is to keep Jake walking in the perpetual wilderness here in Babylon, man. Okay? You see? And what did the Lord had to do at the end of the day? The Lord had to thin the herd, okay? All right? Before they would even enter into the promised land. And the same thing applies here in Babylon. The Lord is actually gonna thin the herd, man, and you 2/3, man. He's gonna thin the herd on the whole house of Jacob, man. Okay? You see? And only the remnant is going to receive salvation. Okay? It says, verse 10, we grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. And that's what Jake does. Go out to any hood and see. Jake is blindly just walking around, man. Jake don't have no working around. For the majority of Jake that you see, they're not serving no real purpose in anything of their life, man. You see? Okay? Jake just is walking the streets as like the wind blows. Okay? No real sense of direction, or not en route to be taking care of something to be productive, man. Okay? For themselves. Okay? And the real only productive thing that you need to be doing right now is turning back to your power, man. You see? But they reject that. Okay? You see? This is why they're going to get everything they deserve. You see? Right? It says, we stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. And that's what you see. Jake is a bunch of zombies, man. Okay? You see? This is how that herd mentality, and you thinking that you're going to make a change for the better, and leaning on this man's system, this is what it got you. This is the accolades of that. Okay? You see? It's what you see in the street, man. All you got to do is pretty much look out the window, man. Okay? It says, we roar like bears and mourn sore like doves. We look for judgment, but there is none. For salvation, but it's far from us. Okay? Why? It's because you're tapping and trusting into man. You're making man, making flesh your arm, so to speak, man. You see? Okay? And this man is only doing, and people like him is leading you to destruction, man. Okay? You see? It says, for our transgressions are multiplied before thee, and our sins testify against us. For our transgressions are with us, and as for our iniquity, we know them. And Jake knows that, and all they need to do is that the only thing Jake says is that, what we need to do is this, and we need to do this, and we need to do that, but it's that stuck in the mud mentality, man. Okay? You see? Right? In transgression and lying against Yahweh, and departing away from our power, speaking oppression and revolt. And that's what Jake is. Jake is nothing but oppression and revolt right now. Rebellious people, okay? And that stuck in the mud oppression, what was me mentality, man. Okay? Like somebody owes you something. Okay? You owe your life to turn to the Lord, man, to be delivered in these times, man. To come. You see? That's what Jake owes themselves. Okay? You owe yourself your life. Okay? All right? Because why? It's because you're going to lose it in a horrible manner. That said the Lord. You see? But it said, speaking oppression and revolt, right? Conceiving and uttering from the heart words of falsehood. And that's what you're doing. Words of falsehood coming from an individual like this right here, man. Okay? Exhibit A, man. Roland Martin, man. Okay? All right? And the comment board is just you see how lost Jake is on that comment board. You know? Okay? You know, when you look at the comment board, man, you think Jake is stuck in the 1800s, man. Okay? Jake is still walking around with that whole 1800s, 1700s mentality, man. You see? Right? It says, verse 14, and our judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. You know? And the truth is in the streets, but what? It's falling on deaf ears. So equity cannot enter in. Why? It's because they're circumcised in the mind, man. Okay? You know? They can't hear. Their ears are not circumcised to hear. You see? Right? It says, yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And that's pretty much what we are, though, man. Okay? All right? Because why? It's because we've departed from evil. You see? Right? And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him, and there was no judgment. You know, and pretty much that's the point right there, man. Okay? But this is why, they look at good as evil, man. Okay? They've been programmed to think that way. You see? Okay? And guys like him keep Jake's mind warped. Okay? All right? Mentally and spiritually warped, man. Okay? You see? And all of them are working in tandem, man. You know, you got the individual like this. You got the people that's in office, that you vote in office. Then you got your local pastors. You see? Okay? All right? They're all working in tandem, man. All of them are bought and paid for, man. And all of them have a job to do. These are the heads of Jacob, man. That's causing you to err. You see? But I'm going to end it right there. But I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Shalom.